Our next speaker is Matthea Wiebe, MA candidate in archaeology, supervised by Dr. Francesco Berna. The title is Striking Light, Assessing Neanderthal Fire-Starting Activities.
We often think of fire as one of the most important tools available to us, something that's intrinsic to being human. We're so close to fire that it's easy to forget the ingenuity and resourcefulness it must have taken to create it for the first time. Imagine a time when the ability to create fire wasn't a given, when the resource of flame was available only by chance through collecting it from naturally started wildfires. Now, this might seem like a strange thought, that it was once easier to collect fire from the landscape than it was to make it yourself, but we actually have a lot of evidence of this throughout the world. This means that at some point in our lineage, humans discovered the ability to create fire. Now, we want to know when this discovery occurred and whether our non-human contemporaries, Neanderthals, were in on the secret. Because if they weren't, this could have been a very important cofactor in their disappearance roughly 40,000 years ago. Now, Neanderthals were the first non-human hominins to be discovered. This means we have a long, complicated relationship with them, and we often look at them as these slouching, hairy brutes with simple minds. But the more we learn about Neanderthals, the more we realize that we're really a lot more similar than we thought. But despite these similarities, right now, archaeologists are debating whether or not Neanderthals were capable of creating fire themselves. Now, I want to jump into this debate on a microscopic level. I'm going to create a method for identifying a fire-starting technique that could have been used by Neanderthals called strike-a-light. Using high-resolution techniques, I'm going to analyze stone tools and hearth remains from the Oscarasciuto rock shelter in southern Italy to see if I can find evidence of this technique. Now, the strike-a-light technique is where a sharp, hard stone like flint is scraped rapidly across an iron-rich material such as pyrite, breaking off tiny pieces of iron. These tiny pieces then rapidly oxidize, creating a spark that can be caught and nurtured into a roaring fire. At the same time, tiny pieces of that flint starter will also break off. And it's these microscopic fragments that I'll be looking for as I literally sift through the ashes of Neanderthal fireplaces. Now, I'm also going to be looking at the flint stone tools that were found at Oscarasciuto to see if I can find telltale signs of that strike-a-light technique. I'm going to use these to answer the question of whether Neanderthals were starting fire at Oscarasciuto. If I'm successful, we can then use my methods around the world to figure out when the fire-starting technologies emerged and whether this played an important role in, whether our relationship with fire played a role in the crucial distinction between survival and extinction. On the other hand, we might just find even more evidence that our Neanderthal cousins were just as clever as us. Thank you.